This is Samuel Academy channel. This video is about mapping of senior schools in Uriri Constituency in Migori County. The reason for this initiative is to create awareness concerning existing schools in the constituency. This will help parents and students make an informed decision when selecting schools for enrollment in grade 10. It also helps us to understand patterns in the distribution of schools in the constituency. The map in the video was generated by using GIS technique. GIS in full is Geographic Information Systems. It helps us to understand patterns, relationships, and geographic context. The map in the video is for Uriri constituency. I am going to exploit and determine where the schools are found. Alright, I'll do that by zooming in, zooming out, and navigating in the map using the pan tool, this one here. So if I zoom in that map, let's say at this point, I'm able to see how the schools are distributed in that part of the constituency. When I zoom in, I'm increasing the scale of the map. Therefore, I'm able to view a smaller area, but with much detail. But if I zoom out like this, okay, I'm reducing the scale of the map. Therefore, I'm able to view a wider area, but with very little detail. So for me to be able to view the schools and their locations, I need to zoom in to increase the scale of the map, just as I have done. So I'm able to see the individual schools and their positions. So I'm going to mention the schools, and we are going to see where they are found for the sake of our learners who are going to select schools to join in grade 10 and all other users. Around this area in the constituency, we have Arambe Secondary School. As we move towards the north, we have the Mujope Secondary School. Then we have Boare Secondary School, Mukuyu Mixed, alright. At this point in the constituency, we have Bishop Linus Okok Osogo Secondary School. This is different from the other school found in Homa Bay County, that is Bishop Linus Okok Girls High School. This is in Uriri constituency in Migori County. Now, this is Oruba Girls Secondary School, St. Pius Uriri High School. Then at this point we have Luala Mixed Secondary School. Then we have Andingo Secondary School, Pinyi Owacho Secondary School, St. Joseph Rapogi Secondary School, and down here we have St. Linus Goyeko Secondary School. Let's go further to the north. We have Chunge Mixed Secondary School. Any other school remaining? Let me zoom out. Okay. It looks like we have looked at most of the schools, if not all, in that constituency of Uriri. So apart from displaying the location of schools in that constituency, I want to talk about how a wet bulb hygrometer works, because it is taught in schools in geography. Alright, and before I do that, I want to request you, dear viewer, to like the video, to share widely, and remember to subscribe to Samuel Academy for more videos. Alright, this is what we call the wet bulb hygrometer. It is made up of two thermometers, the dry bulb and the wet bulb. This is the wet bulb thermometer. This is the dry bulb thermometer. Now, the two thermometers are mercury in glass thermometers. Okay, at the bulb of the wet bulb hygrometer, there is a muslin cloth wrapped around it. There's nothing at the dry bulb. Okay, so the muslin cloth is wrapped around the wet bulb, the bulb of the wet bulb thermometer, with a wick which is immersed in distilled water in this container. So the water rises by capillarity along the wick and evaporates. That evaporation causes cooling around the wet bulb, and therefore the wet bulb thermometer usually records a lower temperature than the dry bulb. You can even see from this instrument, the wet bulb is around 19 degrees Celsius and the dry bulb is around 25.5 degrees Celsius. So there is a difference. That difference we call it the wet bulb depression. So when observer makes an observation, he records the dry bulb reading and the wet bulb reading, and then he finds the difference which I've talked about. Then that difference is used to calculate humidity using a slide rule, okay? Or we just check from tables. There are tables called psychrometric tables. So an observer makes an observation, he records the dry bulb temperature and the wet bulb temperature, and then he determines the difference, dry bulb minus wet bulb. That difference, he uses it to calculate relative humidity using a slide rule or just by checking from tables. All right. So thank you, dear viewer, for viewing the video. Remember to subscribe to Samuel Academy to be able to view more videos.